Greetings, YouTube. I know I've discussed literacy in fantasy settings in the past, and I've always felt that it was a bit too ubiquitous. That in the real historical historical settings, uh, literacy was far lower. And in fact, in your standard D&D or Pathfinder setting, pretty much the only people that are default illiterate are barbarians. And I think it should be much higher than that. Doesn't mean that people can't have lots of language, it's just they can't really read. But I found myself thinking about magical books, and not books about magic. At one time, I think I had a language called Rutheric, I think it was called, or I may have stole that from someplace. That was the language that magical reference books were written in. Nowadays, I just use Draconic, as I figure it's probably the oldest of all the languages, so it's kind of like the lingua franca for this kind of topic. Everybody writes in it because everybody that's an academic can read it, that kind of thing, like how Latin was at one time, or how French was, hence the term lingua franca. But I'm talking about magical books that possess magical power, like the Tome of Clear Thought, for example, which there are 5 different versions, each one which gives you a different bonus, and you can benefit up to a +5 to your intelligence in under 3.5 or in Pathfinder. Those books go blank after you read them because you've basically consumed the magic in the process of having your thoughts cleared by the tome. But I was thinking, do you have to be able to read to use one? Could a barbarian use the magical book that gives him a bonus to strength or constitution? Because let's face it, a barbarian would really like to have a higher strength or higher constitution. And a magic book that would do that for him in just like 6 or 7 days seems a whole lot better than spending the next 5 years exercising the crap out of yourself in the hopes that you'll get tougher and stronger. But do you have to be literate? Or is a magic tome just so magic that if you open it and look at the page, you begin to unravel what it says? And does that kind of sort of mean that it is a gateway to literacy? Say a barbarian reads the Tome of Strength or Con, I don't remember what they're called, and gets the bonus, really happy, he's stronger or tougher, what have you, and realizes that, this reading thing is really useful. Does that give him a leg up on becoming literate in the languages that he already speaks? Like Conan, because Conan was originally illiterate. He was supposed to have acquired literacy during his captivity as a pit slave, as a pit warrior. At least that's in one version or another. I don't know how it was in the actual books or not. I never read them. I read some of the comics, and I loved the Schwarzenegger movie. Well, the first one. The second one was kind of stupid. But he came out of the gate being illiterate. If he had read a magic tome, would that have improved his chances of becoming literate in mundane texts? I don't have an answer here. But it's intriguing to me that either you can read any book that's magic, regardless of whether you're literate or not, or if you're not literate, you can't, because that really kind of cuts out the people who should, by all means, have access to those books. So let's face it, like I said, barbarians want to be strong and tough. So they should have a shot at that, shouldn't they? It seems kind of unfair to say, well, your class says you can't read, so sorry, can't use these magic books. Sounds like a really sleazy thing to do. Kind of like I heard somebody once tell me that because a cleric can only use either a wooden or a silver holy symbol, that if a GM were to give them a platinum holy symbol, that when they went to use it, it wouldn't work because it wasn't silver or wood, and so the GM would then go, ha 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 ha, I got you, didn't I? Yes, someone actually argued that. Well, you see all kinds of things on the internet. So let's discuss magic books and literacy, because,